What's up, guys? This is the Back on Track podcast,
I'm Omar.
and I'm Paul. If this is your second time, first time watching, go ahead and give us that like and subscribe. That way, you can be notified of our new uploads and any kind of clips we post up here. And today, we are joined by
Chris. My name is Chris. I'm 25. I'm from Newport News, Virginia. I met Paul and Omar in 2014 while attending high school. All three of us, we played soccer together, varsity soccer. It was a really interesting 2 years playing on the team with them, and I really grown with them over those 2 years, and even outside of high school. They're like my brothers. So
Hell yeah. All right, well, so we brought Chris on here because today we're going to be talking about the military. Just, boot camp, pros, cons, everything we like, didn't like, the whole shebang, dumb stories. It's going to be a good one.
Yes, it will. That's the one thing we have in common. Well, one of the many things we have in common.
Mm-hmm.
and go Army.
All right, we want to go through and introduce what we did, what we didn't do.
Yeah, Chris, do you want to go first? Since you're the guest?
So yeah, so I joined the Army in 2016 in November of 16. I'm at 88 in November. I'm currently at E5 in Army. I deal with logistics. I track people and personnel coming in and out of country and stuff like that. I'm not no cool infantry guy like some people in the podcast and stuff. So
Nerd.
Me. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
All right. Omar, you want to go?
Yeah. So for me, I joined the Army around the same time, 2016. I'm a forward observer, so I do a little bit of cool guy stuff, running around in the woods, acting like a wild man and blowing stuff up. Not gonna lie, I joined for like the school benefits. Let's see.
You gotta
I
join
did
for something.
enjoy my time in. Yeah, exactly. I'm not just throwing my life on the line for no reason. I
Amen.
want free school.
yeah,
Yo,
that's a
but
good
yeah,
reason to join.
huh?
That's a good reason to join.
Exactly. No, I kind of want an action too, but let's not talk about that.
No
But
combat
yeah,
patch?
that's pretty much it. I did some cool guy stuff. Enjoyed the time, and yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, so I was in the Air Force, active duty, the only active duty guy in here.
Okay.
But
Okay,
so
so-
I joined in 2017. I enlisted. I just took the first job that came up. Ended up as a refueler, ground refueler, not the cool airborne guys. That was on the list, but didn't make it. I did 2 years in the United Kingdom, stationed in Milton Hall, and then I did another 2 years out in Altus, kind of by Fort Sill, where one of these fellows were at.
Me.
Yeah. And then I got out. I did my time, said I'm not doing 20, figured it out quick and skedaddled. But yeah, all right, let's get into it. We want to start off talking about some boot camp and how that went for everyone.
Oh yeah, I think the easiest one should go first. So Paul.
Yeah, Mr. Air
I was
Force.
gonna say there's two of y'all. How both y'all gonna start? But
Whoa.
Oh,
Wasn't your boot camp
hold
like 4
on.
weeks? Like 4 weeks long or something like that?
4 weeks times 2. They cut it down since then. But we're one of the last veterans of the 8-week. But nah, man. Look, Air Force boot camp was something else, and I mean something else by it was. Looking back, man, it was the easiest thing I've ever done in my life. Hands down, bro. It's you literally all you gotta do, just clock out mentally, and just do what they tell you. It's like an 8-month break from having to think about nothing, or 8 weeks. Sorry, don't want to insult y'all, but so you get in there. Did y'all have sneaker week too?
Sneaker week. Yeah.
All right,
I don't know
no,
what that
it's all right.
is.
Hear me out before y'all start going crazy. It's just when you're there, you don't get like your whole uniform yet. You're still trying. You get like a couple pieces. You're either in like your civvies and shorts or whatever, and then like day 2 or 3, you go in there and you finally get your full uniform. But they still got you wearing sneakers. That way they can pick you out as like the new people.
Oh no, they do us full uniform right away.
Yeah, they give us full uniform.
Oh, so y'all spoiled. Okay, that's what I'm hearing.
Wow.
Spoiled.
Bro, never mind. I'm not gonna do my jokes right now, man.
Hey, let loose.
You
Go
already
ahead.
know how I felt. You
Come
already know how I
on.
feel about the Air Force. You guys are
Hey.
spoiled. You guys have it easy to a certain extent. it ain't as bad as the Army, but
Where are we worse than y'all at? Where's our life worse?
No, it's easier.
That's what I'm saying.
easier.
No, he said in some ways, like we ain't just got it better than everyone else.
Oh,
you guys have it better
100%.
in every aspect. You guys have better
Amen.
feedback. You guys have it's not as stressful. I feel like for like your training.
Wait, speaking
for,
of defect, I have a question.
Okay.
I heard that there's a Air Force base that serves lobster in the defect. Is that true?
I've heard of it. I can't remember which one you're talking about. I've heard the same stories, but I ain't never been there.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna start asking about them powdered eggs they serve you in boot camp.
I used to tear them up.
I don't even eat eggs, man.
Hey man, when you're hungry, you're hungry.
I don't eat eggs.
The thing about the DFAC was, one of the ways we used to count down the days until we finished boot camp was at the end of the day, everyone got a protein bar. They gave us one for our last meal. We got a little protein bar.
Yeah, like, see, spoiled. We didn't get no protein bar.
No, spoiled was the fact that they had cakes. They had like red velvet. They had cheesecake and crap up in there in the defects, and you could go get it, but they put it right in front of the snake pit. So you got to march up there. You mess up one bit, you a hair off on your rotations and whatever. Done. You got 3 or 4 of them on you, roasting you, man.
We had
a snake pit stuff. Like the
that's where all our TIs ate at. Yeah.
Okay.
TIs? Is that what you?
MTIs, but
is that like your drill sergeant?
Just military training instructor.
Okay. Wow. Fancy names.
Yeah, fancy names. Oh.
Right.
Look, it comes with the territory having a higher ASVAB score. You know, I just
whoa.
Look, no one act like y'all didn't have a choice.
I had a choice.
I
was just a little stupid and choose the wrong choice.
I chose the Army.
You say you didn't have a choice? You had a choice.
I didn't have a choice. I chose the Army.
What? Don't tell me you one of them people that scored a 32.
Hey man, when I first got, I just wanted to join. To be honest.
Yeah, but what you mean? I just wanted to join.
I wanted to join. I wanted to join, but the Air Force it just didn't work out. My ASVAB score wasn't as high. But I got a good job though at the end of the day, so that's all that matters for me.
Look, man. Regardless of my score, I literally took the lowest required like ASVAB score job after security. No, actually, security forces and us had the same requirements. So
security forces.
Who you offended? I don't get, bro.
I'm sorry. When I was in DC with them, I just had they're clowns. I'm sorry.
I don't like.
That's because you with the off-duty clowns.
Wow, you gonna let him disrespect you like that? Me personally, I wouldn't take that amount of disrespect.
Yeah.
At least we're not MPs at the end of the day.
Look, I ain't calling y'all off-duty clowns. I'm just saying they were the off-duty clowns.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Man, I'll tell y'all a story about some SecFo people. So my I think it was the end of my first or my second like New Year's. I want to say it was the second break we had. So it was in my second year in Milton Hall. Every year, like clockwork, right? You get drug tested after New Year's because we all get like a week off here or there. So everyone goes and travels. Yeah, right. And everyone comes back and they're like, "Oh, surprise drug test! Like you didn't know what's going to happen." Tell me why like 20 SecFo got hemmed up in a coke ring.
20?
They're probably like, "Oh, we can hide it."
Mm-hmm. They're like, "Man, who's gonna check us? We supposed to be checking us." Like,
wow, how fucking stupid.
I knew one person. I'm not dropping names on them, but I knew one person that got caught up in that too. But man, that was a rough one. Right. But yeah, security forces is something different.
All right, now back on track. we were talking about your boot camp experience.
Why mine?
Because you got the easiest.
All right, fine. Wait, which one want me to tell you? All right, so long story short,
how was it for you?
I told it was easy. Like, look, I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you that in the moment, it was like, and now y'all can laugh what you want because I'm sure y'all did the same daggone thing too. We got 2 phone calls home in the 8 weeks.
I only got 1.
Chris, why are you looking like that? Don't they get their phones nowadays?
Yeah, nowadays.
We didn't get it back.
I got my phone like twice during basic.
Yeah, I got it once, and that was so we had to send a letter home for our graduation. And then the one phone call we had was to call them the night before the graduation. Like, all right, at this time you show up at this location, and that's where graduation is.
Oh man, I thought you were about to say all you got was the phone call to say, "Hey, this is my address. If you want to mail me something." That's it. Like day one.
Oh, what? Yeah, now I'm thinking about it. We did do that.
That
We
don't
did.
count though. That's just
Yeah,
a
that
hey,
don't count.
here I am.
Yeah.
Bye.
So
Done.
yeah, we never actually had like a conversation. I don't think to talk. I don't think I did. Yeah,
Seriously?
just
Not
talk.
even like just
Didn't
like
y'all go
months?
in at the same time? Like,
Well,
No, but
everything was
yeah,
still different because around that time is when they were transitioning and making it super easy.
that's
Mm.
true.
But
That's
like
when everything
some of the
started getting soft.
companies were still like hard on us, and then some of them were easy. Like the company next to us, we could see them on their phones on the weekends. Meanwhile, we didn't. like
Like,
we
that's
couldn't be on our
crazy.
phones. Yeah, it was all over the
plus
place.
me and Omar, we didn't go to the same site. I went to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
See, yeah, I
And
was at Fort Hill.
okay, yeah, bro, I
Everything
didn't
is
even know
different.
that Force Hill was a like basic training place.
Yeah, is that they send a lot of the artillery guys there? Well,
You know
because
how
that's
I,
where the AIT is.
yeah, dude. When I was in Lawton, I would always hear the explosions going off,
Mm-hmm.
just from like the training. But you want to know how I found out Fort Sill was a training base? I was door dashing in Lawton, right? And I was delivering a trainee some food.
Wait, they can order food?
Yeah, like,
They can order food now?
yeah,
What
bro.
the
I
heck?
pull up and they're in there like they were in their boot camp. Like, what do you? Are y'all platoons? What do you guys got?
Companies.
Platoon.
Well,
Companies.
there's the different companies, and then you get separated into platoons.
Yeah.
Okay, but is platoon the lowest?
No.
Companies.
Squad, no.
So all right.
Squad.
So platoons is like y'all's version of squadron, and flight is y'all's company.
I don't know squadron. I don't know none of that Air Force
Well,
stuff.
so the way it goes is like you have element, which is like I guess like one person, like like one person.
Too
Then
small.
you have
Too
your
small. Get
team.
bigger. Get bigger.
Logistics.
So you have your
Oh,
soldier,
man.
then you have your team, then you have your
Mhm.
squad, then you have your platoon, then you have your company, then you have battalion, then you have brigade, then you have like I think division or something like that. It all depends on what type of.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah. So wait, I'm the nerd now.
I mean, y'all
I
both
gotta
did
know this
logistics.
stuff, man. Come on.
Man. All right. So, anyways, I they're out there in formation, right? And this kid breaks off, comes over, gets his food, and then they all like split off and sat down, do it. They just BS, and I'm like, is this what y'all do for training now? Man, I thought the army got so soft right there. I was like, how do y'all got it better than us? But it must have just been everyone getting soft. I don't know.
See, I wonder how it is now. I
It's
wish I could
different
go back in
times.
at this time period just to see
Mm.
how it was. It'd probably
know-
be way easier.
You know what I used to
Probably
say?
is.
I used to say if I could have my phone through boot camp, I'd go back through it.
Oh, yeah, right.
If I keep my pay grade, I would go back through it in a heartbeat. You kidding me?
yeah, right.
I don't
Hey, join the
gotta.
army, you'll have to.
Nah, I'll be alright.
Meanwhile, I can go to the Air Force and not do it.
Yeah, but see, let's be honest here. If I went to the army, they'd have to promote me like at least 2 ranks up,
Nah, I don't really
No,
like that.
just
no.
on capabilities.
Nah,
You're gonna lose that
they're gonna make you
NCO
go to
rank, my
school.
boy.
Bro, I
They're
never.
gonna make you go to school.
I got out at 4. I just
Oh.
made the E4. That's it. E4
Oh,
Mafia,
no.
baby.
You know
Man,
it.
y'all don't have no E4 Mafia.
Huh?
Y'all
That's
don't have
an
no E4
army
Mafia. That's an
thing.
army thing. I don't know
No,
what you're
that's an
talking about.
everyone thing,
We're
dog.
protected by the sham shield.
That's why it's called shaman.
Yeah.
Man. E4 is that rank where you're not always doing operational stuff. Like you're usually in like a lower tier supervisor position,
Mhm.
but you're not important enough to have to do like EPRs and all this other crap. Like actually have full on responsibilities. So you just chill, don't do nothing. Let me tell you, when I was in Altus, man, I sat in my car 90% of the time I was stationed there. I
Shaman.
swear to God, I sat in there and I was on my phone while I was working.
Mhm.
Man, and I'll tell you what, Peabody, if you're listening right now, I was sleeping in the dispatch office, man. That's why the sleeping bag was in there, because I was sleeping on the weekends, right?
Ultimate shammer. You'd be perfect
Right.
for E4 Mafia in the army though. You'd be a perfect shammer.
Because it's in every branch, bro. I'm telling you, it's whichever one is right below NCOs, man. That's where you're chilling. That's that sweet spot.
I couldn't stay there that long. Like I couldn't
No.
stay there that
Look,
long.
if I would have stayed in, I definitely would have gone for E5, but
What
I
was
just
stopping you?
I happened to go in right after the period where I could have tested. I could have promoted early and then tested. But then my raider in the UK, so mind you, so I'm going up for my early promotion, right? Or I'm in my my window. Nobody went up for it. All he had to do was submit my package, and I would have got promoted. You know what he didn't do?
Submit your package.
Submit that
Submit my package.
That sounds like the military to me.
Mhm.
Use the paperwork and stuff.
Look, my Raider, he was the nicest dude. Would give you the shirt off his back, but when it came to like stuff like that, he just did not have it together.
It was awful.
I'm not gonna say that. Like I said, he was too nice a guy. I can't. I hate trashing him. But
Yeah.
well, all right.
Did you have any crazy stories in there, like Air Force boot camp?
I almost got washed back.
Why?
So one of these
If it's
gals,
something lame, I'm gonna be mad.
oh, it's no, it is lame. Long story short, I shipped
yeah.
out with this chick, and she ended up being in my cousin flight. So when the squadron would work out together in like the mornings, whatever, when we were PTing, like on cardio days, whatever, we'd be running. So I'd be running, just chit chat with her until I got yelled at. Said, "Hey, you know, I know you can run faster than that. Stop talking to her. Get out of here." They chased me off. I come back around. Same thing. Whatever. So eventually, so did y'all have chow runners too? Did y'all call them that? The people that went into the defect to like get y'all in?
No.
That
No?
we just all went in.
All right, cool. Well, we had 2 people in each flight that had to go in and request permission from the MTIs of the snake pit to bring in the flight. And if they screwed up, we had to keep waiting until we eat, you know, because they had to go back in line, wait again, yada, yada, yada. So one of our chow runners started passing notes back and forth with another chow runner in that cousin flight, right? The female flight. Just they put the stuff in their backpacks when they put their backpacks in the back of the defect together. So they pass notes back and forth. Eventually, my dumbass gets wrapped up in that. I start passing notes with the chick I shipped out with. And homegirl, the other chow runner, gets caught because she was leaving notes in her like study guide, her like boot camp study guide thing. So when they did a locker inspection, they take that, they shake it out, and what do you know? Everything falls out. Mind you, there's a whole space in the back of this locker where they can't inspect nothing, right? You got your own little personal space where they can't inspect. So just put the shit
Oh, so
there.
y'all were able to put private stuff back there? What?
Yeah.
They didn't care.
No, see,
My
yeah,
drill sergeants did not
spoiled.
care.
Yeah,
Spoiled.
right.
Look,
If it was open,
They
they would
dumped
toss
it.
it.
Yeah.
Toss it. I remember I
But-
came back to my bay one day. It was just toss, and they got like sandbag. They put sand all over our bay and everything. They got
You gotta clean it.
yeah, we had to clean it. They had shaving cream everywhere. It was
Detergent.
Detergent.
Yeah,
They freaking do some crazy knots with your sheets and stuff. It was crazy.
Yeah, nah, we had it good. Like I said, I made the wise
Shit,
choice.
I
Y'all
wish.
made the fun choice.
Yeah, the dumb.
No, I said fun. I said
I
fun.
mean, looking back at it, it was kind of fun. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, dude.
I see some funny stuff.
But,
Like I know, at one point in like in basic training, did y'all have like? I'm pretty sure y'all had fire guard during the night or whatever.
Yeah,
Yes.
or you had ECs, is
Right,
what they call
okay,
them.
so yeah, so they were the 2 that were supposed to be up at this time period had fell asleep at the desk, and a drill sergeant comes in, and this is in the middle of the night. Everybody sleep, and I didn't find out exactly what happened until the morning, but I just know in the middle of the night I wake up and I literally see both of them like crawling on all fours, like fast as crap through the
Trying to
bay
get to the door.
because it's like an open base. So no, what had happened was they got caught sleeping. The drill sergeant made them run around the whole entire bay on all fours. So imagine waking up to that and you seeing 2 guys just galloping through the bay.
What?
And I'm
Oh,
like, yo,
no.
yeah. So I wake up and then the first thing I say, I'm like, what the fuck? And then the drill sergeant's like, shut the fuck up and go to sleep. And I'm like, oh gosh.
Like, how am I supposed to
went
sleep
back
with
to
this?
sleep all right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mind your own business.
I honestly thought it was a dream. I thought it was a dream because it was creepy. Like, just imagine somebody on all fours. It was like some exorcism stuff. Like,
Mhm.
so I wake up the next morning. I'm like, it is like, who
Did
fell
anyone else see
asleep in
that?
my guard? No, I was the only one. They thought they were gonna be able to go go through it and just be like, oh, that never happened. But then I was like, nah, I swear that happened.
They trying to play it off.
Yeah, they try to.
Oh no.
I'm like, you idiots. I'm just glad they didn't wake us all up. We all would have had a gallop around the bay.
Yeah, mass punishment is no joke.
Man,
Yeah,
we got
right.
lucky. Like, so again, so we would happen to be one of the few flights that never got checked on because we usually had our ish together. Like, we just didn't screw up that often. So all the senior MTIs would leave us alone. But other flights would have people like random inspections in the middle of the night where they come in and make sure everyone's like in bed, not screwing around, not doing nothing. Meanwhile, our flight's up till like 2 a.m. every night, just BS and chit chat and doing whatever. And that's like me, my dorm chief, the element leaders, all that. And then I can't remember who it was. One of the ECs were screwing around because we were all up. They started banging on the door, pretending that our what was it? The SMTI, like the guy above RTIs, whatever, the superintendent, was banging on the door trying to come in. And so we're all scrambling around doing all this, like just tripping over shit, trying to get in bed, acting like we're sleeping. Man, they almost got beat down. The kid that was messing around, like joking like he was coming in. Everyone was pissed. Like, we never even had that many fights. Like, we were pretty chill as a flight. Like, did y'all have people that would actually try to like fight each other?
Yeah.
Actually, no. I think my basic training, it was really no fights.
See, okay, so my bunk was in between these two foreign guys that had beef with each other. So I had to deal with them yelling across me all the time.
Yeah. Why did they have beef?
I don't know if their countries were beefing and they just hate. I don't know. They just didn't like each other. But because it was alphabetical order, so their name they both had K last names or whatever. But yeah, they would just always argue across from me. And then one day they were about to fight, and I had to snatch one of them up. I'm like, bro, come on. Like I had him in a hold, and I just dragged him to his bunk. I'm like, bro, like y'all doing too much. Yeah. So and then we had a locker in the bay that was just not used, and it had a whole bunch of sheets in it. And one day, two of the guys in our bay, they got the sheets and wrapped them around their hands. And they went in the bathroom and started boxing each other.
What the heck?
Yes, it was the funniest thing in the world. Bro, I love those guys, man. I miss all of them. It was a fun time for sure.
Fun, wild time, right?
Yeah. And then we did combatives all the time. And
we did too.
I was undefeated.
No, you didn't, Paul.
Look, Air Force. Who are y'all fighting? Notebooks?
No, we were fighting the air in front of us. Bro, we barely did the pugil sticks.
Yeah. See, we did do that. But we did the combatives though.
Yeah. We had to sit there and pretend we were getting like punched at and block and do this and then throw a jet. And it was the corniest shit ever. I'm like, if any of us get into a fight after this training, like we're dead.
That's like when I did the riot training, because I had to do riot training. With the National Guard, you help police for your state or whatever, and we had to do riot training. It was like that. You had to shoot. And you're like, get back. Like,
the ones you always see on TikTok.
Pushing the air, yeah, pushing the air and shit. So I know the fight in the air thing.
Did y'all ever have y'all weren't even cops. So SecFo, one thing they did do was it was like a Red Man, what they call it? It's like Red Man training or a Red Man like scenario or whatever, but they had a dude come in like full on body armor, right? That would come in and beat the hell out of these dudes, and they have to try to like defend themselves or like, get away, do whatever they had to do, just like survive. But I would hear stories about that, like they would just get the shit beat out of them by this Red Man thing, coming out bruised and all that stuff, worn out. I'm like, man, that was almost me, because that was the first contract they offered me, and then I found out I didn't qualify.
Didn't qualify for security?
Hear me out. All right, when I was 16, I got fired from Kmart because I had abused. Okay. So they called it abusing the reward system, but I had got like $80 worth of shit for free because we had to meet our quotas, whatever. That nonetheless, I could not go in as SecFo.
Okay.
But I would have left a month earlier and not had any of the same experience. Probably would have hated the military. Like,
nah, you would have fun looking back at it. I promise you, because I hated going. Like while I was going through it, I hated it. But when I look back at it, I'm like, yeah, that was like one of the funnest times of my life.
Yeah. The training?
Yeah. Looking back at it, it was actually like we did a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Rappelling? Like, have you ever rappelled off of like the tower before?
Oh yeah, like, not the military.
That's true.
So yeah, we did it for the military. I got paid to do it. Ha.
Damn it! I got ripped off, man. I had to pay.
Yeah.
I look back.
Huh?
I look back. I got basic training. I'm like, I would do it again. Like that's why I want to be a drill sergeant. I'll do it.
Oh yeah, you'll do it again if you want to be a drill sergeant. Yeah. But you get to go home every night.
I feel like it's gonna be worse that I'm a drill sergeant. Because you're training to I feel like the second time it's gonna be worse because you're training to become a drill sergeant to teach people and stuff like that. So I feel like it'll be worse with that.
I don't think so. I think they want to learn. They want you to learn. When we first go through basic training, they're just trying to pound us and make us more disciplined. But I guess a drill sergeant, they want to teach you how to teach people.
From what I've seen, man, they wear out these drill sergeants, like the ones in training,
Mhm.
because they got to whip them into the same shape that
Well,
the
yeah.
trainer is in. Like the MTI trainer, they got to get them to the point where they're ripping into everybody when they get there and can actually give them structure. So I think they're harder on them than they are on the recruits.
Well, yeah, I can see
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, I can see it.
but
What was the dumbest thing y'all got smoked for in basic training or boot camp?
People going to church. People going to church.
that fits the bill.
Go ahead and explain. Go ahead and explain.
So I call this. I remember it's called Catholic Sunday because the people who went to Catholic service got us in trouble. So like when you're in basic training, you're supposed to have a proper battle buddy
Mm-hmm.
system. You're supposed to have one male, one female. I mean, yeah, one male
Huh?
and one male, or vice versa.
Oh,
Or two
okay.
males and one female,
Okay.
something like that. So first, the Catholic group they already went off. He even asked the drill sergeant, "Can we go to service?" They already went off. So there was a female recruit and a male recruit. They was like, "Okay, the main group already left us. Let's go to service."
Mm-hmm.
So my drill sergeant, we're gonna call him Drill Sergeant Chihuahua. He was like a short, bald man.
Even I hope he don't see this.
Oh
And I
man.
hope I'm not gonna say his name. I don't remember his name. Actually, yes, I do. But short man, bald. If I'm not mistaken, he was Seaburn. If I'm not mistaken. He
Okay.
did like some chemicals. So he sees it. He's like, "Oh, what the fuck?" Cussing up a storm. He was like mad that day. I don't know why he was so pissed, but he sees them walking. He said, "Okay, guys, go to church. I got you." So I'm like, okay, he's about to smoke them. So a drill sergeant is mad when they don't call cadence.
Mm-hmm.
So he says, "Don't even say nothing while we're walking back." So everybody's like, "Yo, like what the fuck? Like we didn't even like." It's the Catholic people that fucked up. They went without his permission and stuff. He smoked us for like 2-3 hours. Like I never saw so much sweat piled in front of me. Like I had a puddle of sweat just in front of me. He made us do everything in the book. I repressed that memory so much because it was probably like the worst smoke session I ever had. Like I drank so much water. I had so much water in front of me. It was crazy. Like my body like ached. And then here come the people who came from the Catholic. Oh, how's everything? How's everything going? Everybody's like,
Look.
bro, because of you, we got smoked.
See, those are the type of people that in every military movie you see where someone's getting fragged with like the soap in the sock.
Oh yeah, sock parties.
Those motherfuckers, man.
Yeah, sock party.
Oh
Have you
my
guys ever had a
god.
sock party?
I wanted to do
Participated?
one.
We were fixing to do one. There's this one dude. So I didn't finish the story. Long story short, I didn't get washed back because the chick that got caught, her dad was a colonel, and my MTIs liked me, so they fought for me to keep me in there. But so everyone got off scot-free for the most part. But I just couldn't be an element leader no more, so I got kicked back in duties, right? Well, they still kept putting like responsibility and shit on me. So one of the worst performing dudes in the flight, we're gonna call him Timmy, Trainee Timmy, because so this dude, mad overweight, no discipline, no like confidence. Man was, I hate saying this about people, but he was one of them people that like, you look at me like, man, you just taking up space right now. You're not even doing nothing. You just existing and taking up space, right? So one day, I mean, this isn't about the fragging thing. He was just the guy that every time something went wrong, it was always his fault. Like he always started something, got everyone else in trouble. Man, we were getting back from the showers, right? Because they put him next to me in the bunk next to me. That way I could try to, be a good influence. Man, I get back from these showers. I look down. This man had left his drawers down on the ground. Bro, these weren't whitey tighties no more. They were dirty. They were like excessively. This ain't like swamp ass syndrome. This is like dude had to take a dump in the field and just decided not to go to the bathroom.
Good lord. Ew.
So he comes back and I'm laying there. I'm like, Timmy, what? Oh, Timmy, what the are you doing? Like, bro, there's a whole bathroom right there. Just go to the latrine, bro. You'll be okay. Nah. And then him and we're gonna call him Harry, Trainee Harry, the one I was telling you about that's in my career field, right? The two of them would get into it because they were like the two like weakest links, and they didn't want to be at the bottom of the food chain, so they were trying to be like the second to bottom link. Well, Harry was a little bit slow, right? Dude was from Iowa or Ohio. He was in the guard, you know, one of your boys, and man, this is the same dude that put. Did y'all ever have to like sit in class?
Yeah.
All right. Did y'all ever have like people that would take like Blistex or like the Burt's Bees stuff, like put under your eyes to keep your eyes like open and awake?
No, I don't
Yeah.
think
All right.
I mean,
like
we use hand sanitizer, just snip
Yeah.
the hell out of it.
Same thing, just something to like because that menthol feeling will keep you up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah. So on a Sunday, trainee Harry decides to take it upon himself to take Tiger Bomb, right? Because two idiots on a flight had put it on their balls and they thought they were gonna have a good time. Right? Nah, they're sitting in their bunk the entire day, just like bawling their eyes out.
Idiots.
I'm like, what? Why would you think that's a good idea? Nah. Well, trainee Harry decides to put 2 globs on his eyelids. Man couldn't see for 3 hours. We had to take him into the freaking bathroom and flush his eyes out. He literally could not see for 3 hours. Couldn't open his eyes. This is the type of crap like I said, the two weakest links. Just
I thought y'all was the smartest branch. Now I'm kind of,
right. Yeah.
I'm kind of giving you side eye,
Bruh.
Air Force. You know.
Don't look, man. Don't look at me.
Well, no, I mean, shoot, the rest of them are still smarter than the rest of us. Because during my basic training, we were dumb enough to go in the bathroom and waterboard each other.
What?
Yeah.
Y'all are wild.
Each other?
Huh?
Guys waterboarding each other?
Yeah, not for long. It was
Y'all just wanted to see what it was like?
Oh, just to see what it was like.
Oh, y'all
Yeah.
tweaking.
Bro, one thing I ain't never wanted in my life is how it feels to get waterboarded. I never
Look,
want to find out.
So you've never like just sat there with a group of guys, a whole bunch of
No.
testosterone. We've been going
No.
for like 6 weeks at this point. Like, oh, I think I can last like being waterboarded. I won't give up information.
No.
that never crossed my
Okay,
mind.
maybe
No,
we're just a different breed. I
What
guess. I
we
don't
did,
know.
we started competing to see who can hold the guidon out with one arm with like 2 canteens on the end of it long enough. Like dumb stuff like that. Or we would take socks, ball them up as hard as we could, and then try to like pelt each other with them.
We play football like that. On Sundays when they went to church, we had to do deep
Okay.
cleaning. So we lift the bunks up, to clear out everything to mop or whatever. And then after we mop and we're finished, we'll ball up a sock or something, just like and then play.
We play a soccer
Either that
match.
or it's combatives or something. Or we'll put the beds down, and what I've done before is
Wrestle.
to sneak in a nap. You act like you're putting your bunk because you get under the bunk to like squeeze it and get it tight. You tie your hands to the bottom of the bunk and you fall asleep. So if a drill sergeant walks in and they, everybody at ease, you wake up, it's looking like you're fixing your bunk and you're not asleep.
Oh, that is smart.
That's slick.
So then you will wake up and then you be like, yeah, you pop up.
That is slick. I can't be mad at that.
Yeah, you got to catch extra hours of sleep, however you can.
I catch mine I call a lot of my IDs in a locker. So
In a locker?
yeah.
Yeah, those lockers are big enough.
I had a really good bunk. I was like in the corner.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
opening. So I used to
Okay.
go in the corner, close my locker, go to sleep.
See, that's how we hid our dorm chief's mattress our last night in those dorms. We took his mattress and hid it in like a corner where you were. It was dark as hell. He couldn't find it for like 3 hours.
Where's my mattress?
Bro, can you imagine hiding a whole mattress in them dorms when everything's put
Right.
together?
You know what's crazy? One of the platoons in my battery, they had to remove their like mattresses and their bunks from their bay, take it downstairs, put it on the drill floor, and then bring it back. I was like, I would hate life. I guess they did something to do it. That was their smoke session. They did something dumb. And they made them bring their stuff down and then bring it back up. I was like, good Lord, I would hate my life. Yeah, it was. And then we got smoked for a lot of dumb stuff. Like one time, this girl farted while we were doing like some training. and then she wouldn't admit to it. So we got smoked for the longest
No.
because everybody knew who farted. We all knew it was her, but she didn't admit to it. Even the drill sergeant knew it was her, but he wanted her to admit to it. So he kept smoking the dog crap out of us. And the only thing that saved us was we had to go to trial. If we didn't have to go to trial, he would have kept doing it.
Saved by the bell.
it got to the point. There was this Hispanic guy in the platoon, and his accent made it hilarious. Like we're getting smoked at this point, and he's like, "I'm just gonna wait until they admit that they farted," and then he was like, "Drill sergeant, it was me. I farted." Bro, he started going crazy.
He's like, I'm sick of it, bro. Like it was me.
Yeah, he was like, "I know it wasn't you. Shut up!" And then like he just kept smoking us, and we all died laughing. And I was like, "Good Lord, we're gonna get smoked longer now."
It's like
It
we're
was-
gonna
it was
finish
the
eating and
funniest
go
thing
back
ever.
straight back to getting smoked.
We hated that girl so
Oh,
much.
that's what
She
it
was one
does,
of
bro.
those. Because like we were just like, just admit to it. You farted. It's a human thing.
Like it happens. Just own it.
Yeah, and she did not want to. And then
Wow.
she was always crying about stuff. So like none of us liked her anyway. We wanted her to go
So-
home.
Always that one
Man.
person.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, see,
It was
the
crazy.
the only time outside of like regular like classes or PT or like drill or whatever, right, that I ever interacted with like the sister flights, right? Our last night there, we're supposed to have our ECs or y'all's like whatever your guards, like your night guards.
Mhm.
All right, so we were supposed to have ECs from a younger flight. Well, we didn't get them. All 4 of the MTIs from our weeks, like our squadron's week, forgot to get them for us or schedule them. So we ended up having to do it ourselves. But before we, came to that conclusion, we went and knocked on everyone's door. Right, we get to the our cousin flight, the female flight,
Mhm.
and we knock on the door, and they're like, all we hear is just screaming. It's chaos. You hear someone, "Shut up, you cunt!" And I'm like, "What the?"
Whoa.
Oh, they were fighting.
Yeah.
Wildin'.
And then this girl comes up. She slides the thing open. She's just in there with like a training bra on and like some her BDUs or ACUs on. Right? I'm like, is this what y'all do? Like, damn it. And this is the exact moment I understood what my MTI was telling me, because we asked him, like, look, sir, like, do you prefer having male or female flights? He's like, male flights, hands down, no questions asked. He's like, the girls, like, they got it together in the beginning, like, they can play nice for a little bit. The dudes are gonna butt heads, have the little power struggles, figure out who's what and where.
Mhm.
But at the end, the women fall apart because they can't stand each other, and the dudes figure out they come together and start like gelling. And I was like, in that moment, I was like, he knows what he's talking about. This is exactly how it happens every time. Every 8 weeks, this man has to experience this crap.
Yeah, right. A mess.
Chris, you ready for Groundhog Day? Want to be a drill sergeant?
Yeah.
Well,
one
no, for the
day.
army it's mixed anyway, so he's gonna have to deal with.
Yeah,
like,
it'll,
if he wasn't
it'll
in.
depend if I'm on a trail, if I'm like in AIT or A school. It'll all depend.
Okay, yeah, they are in AIT now.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Like they were just coming in AIT when I graduated AIT in 2017.
Oh, you were at the end of 2016.
Yeah.
See, I
'cause-
was at the beginning of 2016. I was part of the first group that got issued the OCPs.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
so
glad. I'm
the
glad
first
I'm-
group with the new uniforms. Yeah.
Yeah, because OCP is way better than the ACUs. The ACUs.
Oh,
are
yeah.
ugly.
I had a pair of ACUs though, because with the National Guard, you do like a couple months before you go to basic training, and I had that 1 month, and they had gave them to me. I was like, oh well, I'm never gonna wear them.
Ugly, man.
Yeah, they're
Man.
stupid.
Yeah, like even y'all's ACUs were like ugly compared to our like ABUs. Like
Yeah.
at least we had like the tiger stripe going on. Y'all just had the digital.
It's
Yeah,
still ugly
and
though. I'm not
you
gonna lie.
couldn't blend in
It's
with
ugly.
nothing but a rock.
Absolutely not.
Really blend in with that. It's ugly.
Yeah, it's ugly.
Yeah.
Bro.
Like, how do you go from BDU to ACU? Like,
Yeah, a big
downgrade.
difference.
But
Yeah, it is.
now y'all's uniforms though, like I can't speak for y'all because I don't have them. But our ABUs to like the OCPs,
Mhm.
I hated OCPs.
What?
Crazy.
I was fortunate enough. I got out. My contract ended the month before it became effective that you were mandatory like OCP wearing. So
Why
I
didn't you
got
like them.
bro these boots back here. Okay, hang on. Just those boots real quick. I got those for free, right? For my OCPs I was supposed to be wearing soon.
Hmm.
Never once wore them a day in my life. I got my top from a buddy. I got some pants from another dude. So I had almost a whole uniform, just no tags, no hat. Never wore it a day in my life. But-
Are those the bricks you got right there? Are those the Black Air Forces of the Army?
You want to find out?
Yeah, let me see that.
The
I
Black
bet,
Air
I bet,
Forces of the Army.
I swear he got the bricks.
Nah, those are
The bricks.
Wait, like Briggs?
No, the bricks.
The bricks? Nah.
Yeah.
No, those I don't even
Are those
know.
basic issue?
No.
Probably.
No. What? No, I have no idea. Hold up.
Nah, I gotta see because he definitely got the black Air Forces. Oh, okay. No. He don't got the black Air Forces. Nah. Them junks ugly though. I'm not even gonna lie.
What's up?
Oh, so
I
you're
said
one
them
of those
junks.
guys.
I'm one
What?
of those
Let me
guys.
get the nice looking boots.
Man,
Bro,
those are
I
not
didn't
even
get to
the.
choose them.
Well, no, I'm saying Chris.
Oh yeah, you already know what I'm
It's
talking about.
he's the dude in there with the lightweight Nikes on.
Yeah.
Yes, how you know,
Okay,
bro? I'm
so
a Nike
I had
guy.
a pair of Nikes,
Basic.
a pair of Oakleys. The Oakley boots are my favorite though. They're like sneakers.
See,
I can't get Oakleys.
this is the thing though, right? So when we were in boot camp, right, you could, I don't know if y'all had the same thing where you could get like a waiver to wear lightweights instead of your combat boots.
Oh no, we had to wear combat boots.
Yeah, well, everyone did except that some people would get a waiver. I don't know how they did it, right? But they did. So a couple of guys were able to go buy lightweights, and most of them, because if you work on the flight line, you got to have steel toes. So all these dummies that went and spent $200-300 on these new lightweight boots, right? Could only wear them for 8 weeks until they got to tech school, and then in tech school they still had to go back to their steel toes. So it's like, how dumb you got to be? So I just rocked mine, dude. My freaking boot camp boots, man. My steel toes, I wore them. Everyone hated them in boot camp because they're like, oh, it feels weird on my feet. I was like, nah, bro, these are lighter than the actual like CBs. Like, I don't know if y'all know that, but most steel toes are lighter than CBs.
That's crazy.
It's just the weight difference that people don't like. So, man, I wore those things until I was like sliding. I had no traction on them things from pushing pantographs and pulling hose and crap
That's
like
how
that.
my Oakleys were. I ran through so much in them things that the bottom's cracked. Like it was cracks going on. Yeah. Because you gotta think about it. My job, I'm always constantly marching through the woods and crap.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like you go through light boots like that super quick.
That's true. Chris, you
Yeah.
probably had the same problem, don't you?
I'm not as fortunate as Omar. I kind of work in an office setting.
Mm-hmm.
I wish.
Man.
If I could do it all over, I would do a job that would
I was gonna say,
not
you know,
be combat related.
let's say Omar, just imagine being a nonner, bro.
Sometimes I wish I did the combat stuff, but
Oh no, because
I'm glad.
we
But,
all right. So being a combat job isn't as cool as everybody thinks. So one, you're doing rucks all the time. And speaking of rucks, before I get into one day, one of my drill sergeants almost drowned us before during a ruck. And so we were doing our ruck. Before we started the ruck, they knew a storm was coming. So like this one female drill sergeant, she was just adamant about going on the ruck, even though the bad weather was coming. So she convinced them to make us go on the ruck, and we're doing it, and we're marching into the storm. In Oklahoma, when it rains, it rains. So so we're marching, and then like you could just see us getting closer and closer to the storm. And then out of nowhere, it's like y'all remember the ALS challenge where you pour an ice bucket on you?
yeah.
The rain hit us like that. It was so much rain to the point where if you look straight ahead, you were drowning. Like you couldn't breathe. So you had to look down and like march.
Man.
And I was like, God, I hate this crap.
You're not kidding though,
But,
Oklahoma, man. Like, because the thing is, and the worst part about it is that you can all see it coming because there ain't no trees in the whole state. Like,
exactly.
You're looking down, like, man. If I was looking from Altus to Forest Hill, I could literally just see like dark clouds coming our way, and I'm like, man, I'm about to start work. I'm gonna be on the flight line. I'm about to get soaked.
Right. But getting back on like the whole combat job thing, I wouldn't do it again unless that was just your sole purpose of like joining the military to do combat. I wouldn't do it again. But the reason is because it sounds cool, but for my job specifically, I was a forward observer. What you do is you go somewhere, you sit at that spot, keep security at that spot, and you're just watching out just to wait until it's time to blow something up. So you have a lot of time sitting after you walk miles and miles, and it's boring, especially because I was attached to a recon unit. So it was like the infantry guys I was with. Yeah. Their mission was to sit and watch it. so it's like we'll go to our point, our objective, and we'll just sit there and watch something. Like I remember one time we did a training where we got dropped off of Black Hawks in the middle of a field, and then we had a march like not 15 miles, but like 10 to 15 within that like range to objective. We get there, and then we had to sit there for 36 hours watching a road. Yeah, so it was like a little intersection we had to watch, waiting to see if an enemy patrol will go through it. So we get a track. Like, attack or whatever.
Mm.
And we were there for 36 hours. And then when we were waiting for our food to get dropped off at another point, they dropped it off at the wrong point. So the guys we sent out to go pick up the food
Mm.
got to that point where like the food wasn't here, and it was just bad. It was a bad 36 hours because we had to start rationing off food. If you had extra food and you weren't gonna eat it, you just pass it off to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was bad. But
Great
we did
time.
have fun time. Yeah, I mean, looking back at it, yeah, it was fun because when we had to be quiet the whole time, but you'll whisper with your buddy because everybody was in
Mm-hmm.
pairs. So like you were with your partner, you just whisper back and forth to pass time. But we also had fun times. Like we being with the infantry, they do like the urban operations and going through villages and clearing shit out. So we did that with them too, and then that stuff was fun. It was just fun stuff, but at the same time, a lot of it was boring. The fun stuff was only like less than 10% of what we did.
Mm-hmm.
The other 90% was just watching something and sitting on a point. So yeah, I wouldn't do it again.
Man, I'm curious.
Unless, like, huh? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so I know you're with artillery, but like, did y'all ever embed with the TAC Ps? Oh,
Hold on, let me fix that.
we'll get them back. Hang on, we gonna put a pause on it.
Okay.
All right, guys, we're back. Had a little
Sorry, I
technical
had
difficulties,
yeah.
but
Trying to be all fancy.
trying to flex on us with his cameras.
Yep.
Yeah, but so I was asking you, did you know what the TAC Ps are?
Yeah, I do.
All right, so who do they embed with then?
I think they embed like conventional units, but mostly our Rangers. I think. I don't know. I'm not sure
Okay.
exactly what they do. Well, I know what they do,
Gotcha.
but I'm not sure exactly how they embed.
Yeah, so because my cousin had a buddy that was a TAC P, and that was something that. So when I was going to the Air Force, right, I thought I was gonna be a badass and join up as a PJ. Let me tell you how quick I found out I was not cut out to be a PJ, bro.
Those dudes are savages.
Right. So I'll link this in, right? So I went to my recruiter, told him I wanted to be a PJ, right? So I got a 96 in my ASVAB, not to flex, but so I was qualified for everything, right? And the recruiters, as you know, whenever you get spec ops or any like high scoring, like hard to recruit type of specialty, they get their bonuses for it. So he was trying to push me to be. I told him I want to be a PJ because I can swim and do whatever. And then he was trying to get me to be a linguist too, as a backup. I was like, first of all, ain't no way in hell I'm doing 6 years as a linguist. I'm not doing that. So I go and I take it's called the PAST. I don't know if y'all ever heard of it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So Chris,
Not gonna lie, I was thinking about switching over from the Army and going TAC P.
yeah, bro. Look, man. I heard they live it up. It's like it's probably like what is it? Are they corpsmen or it's corpsmen, right? Corpsmen in the Navy that embed with the Marines. Yeah, it's you come in, you're a little bit more special. You go in and you embed with the little peoples, but
and they call you Doc.
But so I go in, I take the pass test, right? So this thing you do, it's 2 25-meter swims underwater. You can't come up for air, right? I passed both of those, but I was making the noises coming out my body, man. I thought I was dead.
I'm already disqualified.
Man, that was brutal enough, right? And then there's a 500-meter swim, and you got to do that in I think it's 10:07 to be a PJ. And then you got to do your 9:47 mile-and-a-half run. And we got screwed. We had to do shuttle runs, basically. It was just from one cone to the next because we couldn't get on a track. Now, mind you, I'm dummy out of shape at this point. Like, I was so fat. I mean, I was a fat 180, but just not, it was a terrible 180. Mm-hmm. So I fake a little hamstring injury halfway through because I'm like, I'm a little bitch. I ain't making it. But I was like, how bad do I want to be a PJ? And I figured out real quick, it ain't that bad. So that goes in my flight. So our squadron was like the PJ squadron for the most part. So all the PJ candidates came through us. And I was in between my flight and my brother's flight. There was 31 PJ candidates out of the 100 of the people in there. Mm-hmm. You know how many people made it through the pipeline actually became PJs?
2.
Dead ass 2.
Dang. Good guess. Yeah.
And one of them was in our brother flight, and one of them was from ours. And the guy in our flight, Lou Becker, dude, if you ever watch this, shout out to you, badass motherfucker, man. Dude's disciplined, and I was watching the videos of the crap they were doing. Bro, I would have washed out the first week. Done.
Yeah, they
That
go
stuff's
hard
crazy.
because you gotta think about it. They're saving special operations guys,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
they gotta they gotta be better, the same
Yeah.
level, if not better.
Just as, yeah.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the operators, man. Cause
Yeah, I used to want to be one.
yeah, I thought I'd be badass. Mm-mm.
I can't. Nah.
Said I kept my happy ass on that flight line, just squeezing my handle, pumping fuel.
Hey, hey, but you're doing
Ain't nothing
Uncle
wrong with that.
Sam's.
No, well, no, this is what's wrong with it, man. This job needs to be automated, bro. Like, ain't no reason we got to be paying people to do this job. You could have a robot, or remember when we were trying to train monkeys to fly? You remember those whole like things they had going on where they're literally trying to train like gorillas and like chimpanzees to fly? Yeah, they would have much better success just teaching them to refuel aircraft because they could do their job hands down easy.
Yeah, and not get paid for it.
Exactly, just pay them in bananas, bro.
Oh yeah,
Uncle
feed them
Sam's
and that's
coin.
it.
Mm-hmm.
They can go to the DFAC.
Yeah, so anyone high up in the military, you're hearing this right now. I want credit when this happens. Okay, make it happen. Put my career
you
field
do
out of a
that,
job.
you're gonna mess around, turn it into Planet of the Apes. They might take over.
Not Caesar, man. Don't. Well, we got the heads up. Just don't enlist Caesar. Be all right.
Right.
Oh man, but we've been talking
When
about
he
boot camp
talks, get
for a
rid of him.
minute.
Oh yeah, right.
Bro, let's talk about what your. Let's end it on a good note. So, what's your least favorite thing from the military? What just
Least
whether it's
favorite?
Least
boot
favorite.
camp, whether it's
Ooh.
leadership, whatever it may be.
The consistency of the leadership. So
Yeah,
like
I'd
you
definitely say that.
come across good leaders, but you also come across crappy leaders. And I feel
Yeah.
like majority of the time it's crappy leaders.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
find
If
that
I'm,
one
if I'm
good
being
apple,
honest.
right?
Yeah.
No, I hear that. That's one thing for me too. Like my first year in Milton Hall was hell. I wanted to get out. I was doing everything I could to get out of the military my first year because I was miserable. Like our whole flight's morale was in the trash. Like when I got there, everyone was getting smoked for this one kid got a DUI. And then right when he got a DUI, he took leave. So all the group punishment landed on everyone but him.
Wow.
Then like we couldn't do nothing fun. Like we weren't getting no time off. We weren't doing nothing. Like it was just work, work, work. But we did have a couple good leaders in there that were like people focused. Because this is my outlook on leadership in the military. If you're in a leadership position, you take care of the people. That's your job. And then the people, like the junior enlisted, it's their job to take care of the mission. So if you're in a leadership position and you're focused on the mission, you're missing something there. Like you're missing that in between, which is the people that actually take care of the mission. But we were fortunate; we had a handful of people in leadership. I'd say like 3 of them out of all we had that year, where they were actually focused on people. Like if we had done everything, there were no flights taken off, we didn't have no refuels going on. They're like, all right, hey, y'all cut out, go on standby for the last hour or 2 of your shift. Go enjoy your day, do whatever. And then you had the other ones that were like, yeah, let's find them some busy work. I know there's a piece of dust over in this fill stand over here. Go ahead and clean that up. Like that. Ooh, that was a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah, it was a lot of dumb stuff. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah.
I think I was fortunate to have pretty good leadership. I say especially during my first year in the army. My mentor, who I'm actually he's about to PCS and everything, and I'm about to PCS too to my new unit. He was like probably one of the best leaders I've like ever had, like throughout my entire time in the army. Like he checks up on me. Even when I wasn't his soldier, he called me, "Hey, Pierce, you're good? Do you need anything from me?" "No, Sergeant." And, he basically he was like, the way I look at him, he's like that embodiment of an NCO. He teaches, mentors, checks up on you. He checks all those boxes, and it's kind of hard to find NCOs like that, or even leaders like that who really care about the lower enlisted. And he was like a voice for all the other Joes, I would say. If there was like a detail that really was like really stupid, he'll be the person to speak up like, "Oh no, they're not doing that." And and one thing, he wasn't afraid to express himself. It didn't matter if he was higher or lower than him. He's gonna speak his voice. And definitely, I think that we need more leaders like him, because he knew how to, like, some leaders, they don't know how to talk to people.
Oh.
Some of them are like real disrespectful. They don't know how to, actually
Yeah.
talk to people. They think just because they have those chevrons or that bar on their
Mm-hmm.
chest or whatever, or that oak leaf cluster, they can talk to anybody some type of way,
Mm-hmm. But they're
But
gonna expect you to respect them even while they're
Yeah.
disrespecting you, right?
yeah,
Yep.
because
Man.
But little do they know, I throw hands when we in a uniform.
Yeah, he said these hands are ready to eat for everyone, huh?
We are part time.
yeah,
Man. No, I hear that, man. If I can find the clip, I'm gonna throw it in here. I'm gonna tell you all the story. But um, there was a time where I was on, I think, nights. I was working nights at the time. I got thrown on nights in the middle of the hottest like summer that England had seen in like 10 years or whatever. It was getting up to the high 90s, and I think it hit 100 at least a couple days. And I'm on the third story of this concrete dorm with one window, only window facing in towards the courtyard, so it's blocked up from like there's no airflow through there. I got 5 fans rocking in my room. I was dousing my pillows with water, like sprinkling them, freezing them, and then I'd take them out when I go to sleep and put an ice packs on my chest to keep myself cool. And I'd still wake up sweating my butt off because they don't have AC out there, which that was a whole other thing. But so, mind you, in the midst of all this, right, someone had screwed up doing something, and they decided to put CCTV in the dorms, in the hallways. And I just happened to be right off a stairwell. So they started installing this stuff, like they're drilling into these concrete walls right through my wall, mind you. And this coincides at the same time that they decided to start doing dorm inspections. Now, I don't know if you all have the same standards in the Army, but in the Air Force, if you're occupying your room, you can't do a formal inspection or just like a random inspection at the very least, because you're occupying, you're living in it, inhabiting it, so you're not expected to upkeep the same standards as when you're not in there. So they come in, they check my room. My buddy Zach had slept on like my floor, so there's a comforter from the night before, and they come in there, they're like, "Hey, dorm inspection." Just, why you got this comforter on the floor? You got trash in your trash can. Look, it's just a random one, so we're not, no big deal, whatever. But just next time, have this right. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, y'all can't even inspect my room because I'm living in it right now. So I was like, whatever, cool. Thank you. Y'all have a good one. Next day, I find out they're doing formal inspections now because one of my buddies and a couple of the people in there had they weren't in their rooms and the rooms were trashed, like reeking of garbage, they shaved in the sink and didn't clean it up, nothing like that. So the leadership got pissed off and ran it back, but formal this time. But the same thing, I was on an off shift, so when they were doing the inspections, I was still in there living. So they come back, same kind of deal. I got trashed my trash can, and that was really it. I think the comforter was on the bed, but it wasn't made up. So I'm like, they come in raising hell. Mind you, again, same time every morning this is going on. Drilling in my room, if I can find this clip, man, it was loud as hell. It was just reverbing through the walls. So I couldn't even sleep. So from 7 when they're screwing stuff in. So I was on B shift at the time until 10 when they would take a break. I couldn't sleep. So they come in here, they start trying to rip me about this. They don't ask a question like, "Hey, what's going on? Is there a reason?" Nah, they just start trying to rip me and saying "Oh, since you want to be a troublemaker, tomorrow, 0 or 1400, be in your blues, have this room inspection, white glove ready." I'm like, okay. So I get all my shit together, pass with flying colors. At the end of it, he's like, "Look, why do you gotta give us a hard time?" I was like, "Look, if y'all had to stop to ask for 2 seconds, hey, is there a reason that things aren't in order or whatever?" I would have told you immediately. And I showed them the video. I was like, "This is what's going on right now. I can't sleep during the day. I can barely sleep, 5 hours before my shift if I'm lucky." So they're like, "Oh," and that's when they had a little epiphany saying "Oh, maybe we could have thought about you before we just came in here being, jackasses about it." But so again, we had plenty of good leaders, but I feel like every unit's got at least a handful of people that are just rotten.
Oh yeah. I remember we had this one sergeant, and I'm not gonna say his name, but so we were at Fort Bragg doing some training on the hill. Basically, we were just doing live fire exercises, and there was another soldier that he kept getting in trouble, and this sergeant just kept picking on him, and just picking on him, and then I guess what had happened was he talked to the one soldier, and was like, if you do this one thing again, then such and such will happen. So one soldier did the one thing again, and then he took all of our phones. I was like, that's not how this works. One, I didn't. You think I'm giving up my phone? No. but um, but all that crap happens, and then we're all pissed. We stopped. We pretty much stopped working. We didn't do any live fire stuff. We were just sitting there like as a protest. Eventually, another sergeant came and was like, "Yeah, that's stupid. Why'd you take their phones? Like you're dumb for that." Basically, telling the other sergeant to fuck off. And I'm like, it just rubbed me the wrong way. Like we're grown men. Why are you trying to take phones? Like it made no sense. They try to treat us like we were kids, and
Was this on a
the
drill weekend?
NCOs like that. Just this was annual training.
Okay,
So we were out in Fort Bragg for 2 weeks.
gotcha.
Like in those 2 weeks, because it was rainy the whole entire time,
Mhm.
and it's humid down there. So
Yeah.
like humid and hot. But that time down there was great. It's just that one specific NCO, which is horrible. So the leadership varies. You got very trash leadership, and then you got really good leadership.
Yeah.
So like when my first 2 years in, I spent with the Cav unit. My first 2 years, it was like a mix of jobs. So when I initially joined the military, I was trying to become an officer. So I did like this whole cadet thing, and I was like, I don't like this. So I stopped doing the cadet thing, and then I had to do like this little week and a half, like infantry training thing, so I could go hang with the infantry guys. And I did that. So I was with the infantry guys for the second year of my first 2 years, and one of the leaders there was this lieutenant. He ended up going active and doing like ranger and all that other stuff. So like he was squared away. He was one of those great leaders where he checked on everybody, made sure everybody was good, taught us lessons the right way, and not like just completely destroying us and treating us like trash. He was great. Same with the platoon sergeant there. That guy was great. He wasn't a big talker, but he got his points across, and he made sure we understood it. He made sure to take care of us when we needed to be taken care of. And then after that, I ended up changing my job to become a forward observer, and that's when everything went downhill. Like the leader, the leaders in the field artillery unit I was a part of just they sucked. Not all of them. We had one great sergeant. I'll say his name because he was amazing. Sergeant First Class Carter. I doubt he'll ever see this video, but he was very hard on us, but it was always for a purpose. Like the things he did was to make sure we became better people, better soldiers. And he delivered it like he was blunt about everything, and he delivered it with an aggression that was needed. It wasn't like he was going overboard on us, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like in the time, we're like, okay, yeah. And like at the time when he's yelling or whatever, it's like, dang, I wish he would like leave us alone. But after you look back on it, it's like, okay, I see why he was doing that and why he was trying to get those certain things in our head. Because he wouldn't yell at us for no reason. It would be a reason for him to yell at us. And it was always good reasons. So like you have good leaders and bad leaders, and that's pretty much what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, it's not. I hear that, man. It's the thing. The thing I always realize is that the people that like the good leaders they never had to demand respect. They just got it because they deserved it. They earned it.
That's definitely it.
Like it's what's understood doesn't have to be said.
Yeah.
It's always the ones that are saying like, oh, I'm the NCO here. I've got rank on you, yada yada yada, trying to like strong arm you. That are like, bro, like why would I ever listen to you? Like, what have you done for me that makes me want to do something good for you? Like,
yeah.
But Chris, you look like you had something to say.
I hate leaders like that. And when I got my 5, I vowed to myself like I will never be that type of NCO who just uses his rank to get like power. Even in the NCO creed, Omar, you should know this. In the part of the NCO creed, I believe in the first paragraph, I will not use my grade or position to obtain pleasure, profit, or personal safety. And I really abide by that. And like a lot of people, when they become like E5, they just want the power. They don't understand you have to earn the respect. They don't put the soldiers first. They don't. It's all about them. Oh, I only care about myself. I don't care about myself. But
that's exactly what it is.
But once you I feel like once you're a good, like if you're a good NCO, once you cross over, you actually understand like, okay, it's not about me no more. It's about the soldiers. And now how I operate as I don't care, like I don't really care about going up. I care about down. So I always make sure the soldiers that I'm in charge of, what can I do for you? Do you have X, Y, Z?
Mm-hmm.
I try to make sure that they're good, and I take it personal, and I really, it's my job to, I think, to take it personal and to help them as much as I can, you know.
Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
so, question, like, how, knowing that you behave that way, like that you lead that way, right? Do you notice that like your troops act a certain way compared to like maybe some other NCOs that they're in charge of them? Like, do your people tend to like work a little bit harder for you, knowing that you got their back?
Um, yes, I think it's for certain. I think it's easier for them to come approach me. I think that's probably one thing I realized, like, because if, for example, if you're like one of those NCOs who is always rude to somebody, you always have like a snarky attitude. Nobody wants to come up and talk to you. You
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? You're not approachable, but I think that right now, a lot of the junior enlists, especially the newer soldiers who don't know me, they can come up to me, ask me questions. I'm not gonna scold them for not knowing something, because I'm one of those people. If I don't know something, I'm gonna ask questions too. So
Yeah.
I definitely think I do see like a change, and definitely think the lower enlisted respect me because I'm me. I'm not trying to be somebody else. I'm not power hungry basically.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and uh, yeah, it's just I take it serious.
Yeah.
Well, it's just one of those things I take really serious at the end
Yeah.
of the day.
I mean, we talked about this before, but like, so would you describe it as like your leadership style being like a servant leadership kind of deal, or
Um, yes and no. I think I'm a mixture of different leadership styles based off the different leaders who mentored me. I think
okay,
I'm like out of my three mentors, I'm a combination of all three of them.
okay, and
I
how would you
can be
describe them, like each one?
so my first mentor, he was an infantryman drill sergeant. He did like 13 years active duty. Um, he's really this super abrasive, really hard hitting like NCO, really knowledgeable, but his leadership is abrasive, but it's caring at the same time. He's going to tell you how it is.
Yeah,
But he's still going to respect you. He's going to make sure your needs are done. Get done. You know,
yeah,
and
they're
then
taken care of.
yeah, and then my second mentor, who I got, I would say 2 years after him. He's a E8 now, about to get his E9, if I'm not mistaken. I talked to him, and he has a more he's not as abrasive, but he can get abrasive, but he's this really caring individual. Like all of them are caring, but he has this aura about him. Like he really cares. He's going to talk to you a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
He's still going to tell you, how it is, but he's going to talk to you. He's going to push you to the edge. And I have my other mentor, who's my supervisor right now that I work with. He's how can I explain it? He's just like my first mentor, but think about it in a Marine sense. He was a former Marine,
Ah,
so he definitely doesn't, care. But
mm-hmm.
he gives me those opportunities that I need to develop um, as an NCO and as a soldier as well. And I
Gotcha.
feel like all those traits from them help me and has kind of molded me into the type of NCO I want to be and type of leader I want to be as well. So I think I take all their good traits and I put it together with some of my traits that I have, you know, just me being who I am, and I just
Mm-hmm.
put all that together, and I like that's how I describe Sergeant Pierce, basically, a
Okay.
combination of all of them. So,
No, I mean that's the best way to do it, man. I always say like you should basically observe. If you spend a lot of time in your life like watching, observing, listening, whatever, right? you can basically pick out like all the things that you don't like, all the things that you do like, all the things that work, the ones that don't work, right? And you, if you identify the things that work well, that help other people, that help make you a better person, and you focus like on focus on that, if you work on those things and develop those skills, like you can become the leader that you always needed, right? You can find like because to say that there's a bunch of bad NCOs out there, like not every bad NCO is just an outright bad person in every like
Yeah.
manner. Like they might have like good, for example, like when I was talking about having a good balance of being, your people versus your mission. I think someone that's like way, if you're like 70-30, people to mission, I think you're way out of whack. I think like it just, even if it's 51% caring about the people first and 49% the mission, just so the mission comes second, I think that's huge. And we had a couple guys that were just way too far invested in the people, but and the other ones that were way too far invested in the mission, where they disregard the people. Because either way, one's forgetting about the mission, one's forgetting about the people, and you got to meet in the middle somewhere. And I feel like those are the kind of people where you find like the really great leaders that you find in the military, the ones that, they got your back, they care about you, they got your best interests at heart, but they're going to push you to be better. They're going to push you to get the job done and do it the right way. Have some integrity, have accountability, because they want you to be the best version of yourself that you can be, and that way when you come up and you step up and take the mantle from them later on down the line, like Chris hitting E5, is that you're going to do the same thing and basically reach down and help up the next person, give them that opportunity and pull them up, so then they're next in line.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just realized we only hit one point about what we didn't like about the military. We still on leadership.
That's the biggest thing.
It literally is I think it's the number one dictator about whether or not you enjoy your military experience or hate it.
Yeah, most
That's
definitely.
pretty much what it is.
Because I know
everything
people.
I feel like everything else about the military was actually good.
Absolutely.
So it's just, for me, the only other cons were just the job I picked. I mean, it's nothing with the job. I love doing the job, but it doesn't help me out in the civil world. Now, if I was doing a career, like a military career, like I was going to do 20 years, then hell yeah, I'd do the job again, but I didn't plan on doing 20 years.
Yeah. I hear that, man. Go on, sorry.
But other than that, yeah, I can only think of the leadership being a con.
Yeah.
Because it's just a mixed bag. It's not like a consistent thing.
Yeah.
I was going to complain about something else, but I mean, it realistically, like most issues in the military they start at leadership, right? Because I was going to complain about like the rigidity and the lack, like the refusal to adapt and evolve, systems and stuff like that.
Which is leadership.
But it all comes down to someone being an open-minded individual in a leadership position that wants to make a change for the better kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't got that person, if it's not the right person, the right place at the right time, when you got some junior enlisted or some NCO bringing up an idea that's gonna improve morale or efficiency, save man hours, whatever it may be, like it's gonna be, then it ain't gonna happen. And that really is it. But I mean, I guess y'all got anything else you want to talk about gripes wise with the military, or we move on to the good stuff?
We can move on to good stuff.
All right, cool, man. I probably try to bring it up like 3 times so far, but I always say about the military, man, you meet some of the best people you'll ever meet, and you meet some of the worst people you're ever going to meet in your life.
Yes.
It is a conglomerate of the saints and the assholes, man. Like the saints and the scum of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
But man, it's I think I can't remember who was talking about it, but someone was talking about the camaraderie in the military. Like you can only find that kind of camaraderie in 2 places: the military and in a locker room, like a sport team, like locker room.
Yeah. Exactly. That's a good comparison right there. Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, like that brotherhood, that connection.
Because even the people I met in basic training, there's a few of them I still talk to, and like I still keep up with, and like if we were to meet up somewhere, we would just click like we did while we were in basic training. Same with the guys at my unit. Like those guys are my brothers now. They're family at this point, and like we done been through so much together, even on the outside, because like we all hang out on the outside, all this stuff. So like they turn into your family, lifelong friends. It's just the best place you can go meet people.
It's gonna make you grow. It's gonna put you out of your comfort zone for one.
Yeah.
Like full disclosure on my behalf, like the only reason I joined the military was because I had an ex-girlfriend that, was in the area and our lives are a little bit too intertwined and I had to get out of here. Like I needed some separation. So I said, book me on the next flight out, and then, 4 years later, I got some, people in my life that, that are closer to me. I consider them more family than anyone I'm related to by blood. Like that I know they're down, like 10 toes down all the time. They're going to have my back when worst comes to worst. We've been through the worst, that we've been through, and we're still, we got each other. And I tell you, that's the one thing that I appreciate the most about the military is the people I met.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Uh,
Like I have one guy, he's my brother at this point. I don't know if he's gonna watch this, but Tyler, you my boy. You my boy.
Mm-hmm.
Like you meet like I met him and we click. Now we're like brothers, always doing something. Like I haven't been able to hang out with him much lately, but like I do whatever for him, he'll do
Mm-hmm.
whatever for me.
yeah.
And like the relationships that the military gives you like that, you can't replace those. You can't find that
Mm-hmm.
anywhere else.
No.
Not
It's
even.
crazy.
That's I did some volunteering with like a contractor. I think I told you about like the interview prep stuff like that. Yeah, so when I was working with this contractor, basically I worked with people that were transitioning from active duty to civilian life again. They were separating, retiring, whatever they were doing. And this is while I was going through my transition too, so it was like therapeutic for me, but it was it's so incredibly difficult going from like being engulfed in it for 4 years like that. I mean, you guys might have the same experience, but going from that transition to back to civilian life, trying to find that like that's the thing you miss the most and that you're starved for is that camaraderie. Like you feel isolated, you feel like you don't fit in with people because it's just so different, man. Like civilian life and military life are two completely polar opposite kind of like ends of the spectrum because the
Mm-hmm.
joke, what your sense of humor in the military,
Yeah.
what y'all do for
Completely
fun,
different.
like y'all's understanding of we all got drugged through the mud together, doing
Yeah.
the same BS. We all worked our 16-hour shifts during these exercises, whatever may happen, boot camp, tech school, whatever. Like you go through all that crap together to where it's just y'all bonded like that, and it don't matter. It's like you said, it's that brotherhood, man. It is
Mm-hmm.
tough to try to find that because that's what you start looking for when you get out.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
you start
it's
looking for that
hard to
connection
find.
again, and
It is
bro, it's
hard to find.
impossible to find. You can't.
Yeah.
Now
Only places.
you can find it in other veterans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
I met this guy recently in the Marines. Well, he was a Marine, and like we click instantly, and now we're super
mm-hmm.
close. Like, dude's a brother to me too. Like
Yep.
it's just crazy what the military can give you, even when you're not actively in it. Because like
Right.
I meet
Yeah.
military members all the time, and it's an instant. Like we're always instantly clicking.
That's the one gift that doesn't stop giving from the military is the people.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
there's always people coming in, always people coming out, and y'all all just get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it doesn't matter what generation either. It can be from older generations to new
Yeah.
generations.
Yeah.
I volunteer at a retirees club, and I'm a member of the club as well. And
Down on
I get to
Warwick,
talk. Yeah.
I just drove by. I know what you're talking about. I noticed it.
Yeah. And I get to talk to like Vietnam vets and people who fought in the Gulf War and stuff like that, and just their perspective and just building a connection with them is like amazing. And doesn't really matter what era, even though we have our generational beefs and stuff. I think that that understanding of we all been through the mud together, like Paul said
Mm-hmm.
and Omar said. I think it's amazing. I met infantrymen who served in the '80s, Ranger, Special Forces, and all that cool stuff. And
The badasses.
Yeah. The
that's
stories I
that's
can only
that,
imagine.
yeah, that's cool stuff. And
Yeah.
camaraderie is like it's nothing like it.
Mm-mm.
Only like Paul said, there's only one place is like sports, and I felt that with you guys when we played soccer. That's
Oh
probably
yeah.
the
Yeah.
last place that I
Yeah.
really felt that
Had something
camaraderie
like
is.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because we went like those 2 years that I played with you guys, we went through highs and lows, and
Yeah.
that could be its
Man.
own podcast. That could be its
Definitely.
own episode in
Oh dear
itself.
God, that 0-8 start senior year.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
yeah, like
the whole
like
thing.
it's nothing like that. And that's one thing I like about the military. I met my brother, one of my brothers, like two of my really good friends
Mm-hmm.
through the
Mm.
military. And I, even though I don't talk to him every day, every time we I can call him up right now. We talked on the phone for like 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Amen,
About
man.
life, so.
Amen. That's the thing, and that's the one thing I do love about it though is that even though they're not here all the time, like I know if I pick up the phone like you just said and I call them, we don't gotta have no like, oh, where you been? Yeah, it's just like, hey, what's up, idiot? Like we just go back and forth, catch up, and just talk about whatever the heck we want to talk about. We sit there and always BS about when we're gonna catch up, and then it gets pushed back, and then we eventually do catch up, and it's always the time of my life, man. Meeting, catching back up with all my buddies from the military. It just brings back all these, bro. The stories I got from overseas. I ain't got much from houses because like that was during the lockdown, but Mildenhall was a wild time, man. I the two guys I'm gonna talk about right now are gonna know exactly who they are. I ain't gonna say names, but so me and 3 buddies had gone on a pub crawl up in I think we went to Newmarket in the UK, and we got plastered. We came back. We get back on base. My one friend, but I'm gonna say buddy number 1 is drunk, just whips it out. We're not even in a building. He's just in the middle of the street, just whips it out, and we're all like, "Bro, what are you doing? Put that away!" Like, and then buddy number 2 comes over, like, it literally had to zip it up for him, like, and put it away because he was about to get a freaking charge from SecFo because we literally just got in the gate from the base. They could see us. Like, we're lucky they didn't have good vision, but so we walk back, and he's miserable. Like, he doesn't want to have his clothes on. He halfway up the stairs to his 3rd story dorm. This man's butt naked going through the stairwell. Like, man, but that buddy number 1, I got plenty of stories about him, man. He's just a human highlight reel for content. And dear God, let me go through my Snapchats, man. I'll come back here on another episode and talk about this stuff, but
Right.
he's a character. But he's also, again, he's one of those guys that, like, anytime we talk, catch up, it's like we just pick up where we left off. It's like no time passed.
Mm-hmm.
I love all of them to death, man.
And then the one thing I enjoy about like meeting vets and stuff like that is you get to talk about your stories over and over again.
Mhm.
Feels like the stories, like the experiences and the stories you have like throughout your military career just are things you're gonna remember for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah.
And they're all unique experiences, things you never seen before. Like before I joined the military, I would have never thought I would like camping. But now I'm just like, yo, camping is the most amazing thing in the world. Like, so like the experiences the military brings is it's amazing. Like that's one pro I could put at the top of my list.
Yeah. Yeah. You really like explore like who you are as a person too, like because again, it pushes you out that comfort zone. So.
No, because that's how I started the whole like entrepreneur thing and like trying to grind, and I became a better person because of it. Like it put me in that mindset. It taught me how to work and grind and be disciplined enough to get things done. And that's another thing I appreciate from the military. It gives you the right mindset to succeed in life.
Yeah.
Amen. Yeah, dude. It's speaking of like the mindset thing, man. I remember I was talking. I had again one of these, my all-time great tech sergeants, man. Sergeant Toth. If you end up watching this, just this conversation, I'll never forget it. We were I was talking to him about like, what could I do to do better like in the military while I was still in, right? Before I was fully like getting out. And we were talking, he's like, the best thing that you can do for yourself, you get the hell out of here. Like just separate, don't come back. Not because I don't want you here, not because you wouldn't, you wouldn't benefit the military, but like he's just like the military is not a place for people like you that have any kind of ambition and want to do better because it's where all the benefits are with the people, right? It's not, the military is what it is, right? You live in the system.
Mm-hmm.
But oh man, he just like you said with that ambition, man. It's just I think being starved of like the opportunity to really do stuff in there kind of like just built up like this fire that was just like waiting to get let out. So when I finally got out and had that freedom, man, I had to do something. I had to do something. That's where this podcast came from. That's where, when I tried my pressure washing business and it succeeded and failed at the same time, but it was just something. And man, you're right. Like it it makes you grow and experience new things to where you start getting out of your comfort zone and go, like you were talking about going to the moon, man, bro. Just with whatever you're trying to do, you got that motivation, that fire.
Yeah. And then like as we were talking, I just thought of another thing. Like, I don't know how it is. It's probably different in active duty, because a lot of the guys that go active duty are young and don't have much work experience or anything like that. But but like what I noticed in the National Guard, you meet a lot of people with different professions. So like you could be working with a doctor, a lawyer, like
It's like
different,
real life
people.
LinkedIn.
Yeah. So like you learn a lot of things from those people. So like I've when I was at my first unit, that's where I got introduced to like owning your own business and stuff like that. There was a guy there that had his own business and I would talk to him about stuff and he would try to get me on track with like finances and finding out what I want to do with my life. Like if I wanted to continue school, which I try to continue school. I'm gonna go back and finish school.
I'm gonna hold
But
you to it because I got to go back too. So
yeah, but like basically he would just give me options about life because he went to college route, got his degree, but ended up not using it because he started his own business or whatever.
mhm.
But you can get so much experience from it, especially being like the reserves. Because like I said, you meet so many people of different backgrounds, and like you learn so much from it.
Just opens
And
up doors for you.
I think that's really cool. Yeah, it does open up doors. Because even now, I've made connections with people. I know people that are starting their own businesses now and that have hit me up like, "Hey, can you help me with this?" Because they know I'm doing like a marketing thing.
Mhm.
So it builds connections too, which is pretty dope.
So I have a question for both of you guys. Do you think the Army helped you realize what you wanted to do once you got out?
Yeah, it
No,
made
I
me
don't
real.
think so.
It made
So,
me realize I didn't want to work for somebody.
No, the Army didn't teach me nothing. Like they didn't do nothing
well,
for me,
military,
dog.
my bad.
The Air Force.
Yeah, sorry.
My bad.
Yikes. But no, yeah, no, I think like Omar said, it's one of them things where I think getting put in a position where look, man, I knew going in that I hated taking like orders from people.
Same.
Like I've never been like the most like ruly like just compliant person ever. So I used to say that like I would never like do this, and also, but 3 months before I shipped out, I said I would have told you if you had asked me, said okay, would you ever join the military? I would have told you, hell no. And then 3 months later, I'm on a plane down to San Antonio, and dear God, but no, man, it's one of the things where you start looking up and you start seeing people, that outrank you, that have authority over you, that have no like real level of competence or
Hmm.
reason to be in charge of you, but you still got to
Yeah,
listen to them. Like
it sucks.
you want to talk about a frustrating situation, like that's it. So I told myself when I got out, like I was like, I'm gonna go somewhere where one, if nothing else, if I'm not working for myself, I'm gonna go somewhere where what I bring to the table is appreciated. The drive and the desire to like help build some. Because if it's not my own thing, I'm gonna try to help someone else build their thing.
Hmm.
So like in my current company, like I'm trying my best, and my hands are tied to a degree. The owner, he's got a relatively open mind, which I appreciate about him. So it's just one of the things where as long as I feel like he's appreciating the ideas I'm bringing to the table and the work I'm doing, I can live with that, at least for now.
Hmm.
So, but what about you, Chris? What did the Army teach you?
Um, we was talking. I think I was either talking to you or Omar about it. It made me realize the Army actually made me realize how much I enjoy mentoring and coaching to an
I think
extent.
we talked about it
Hmm.
when
Yeah,
you came to my job that one time.
yeah. It really. I don't know if it's like because of the leaderships that the leaders that I had in the past, but it made me realize the Army really made me realize how much I just enjoy teaching to a certain extent. Like I never would have thought in a million years, oh, I want to be an instructor or a drill sergeant. Like if you asked me in high school, hey Chris, hey, what do you want to do? I was like, I don't know, like an engineer or something. I never would have. I would never would have thought like I would have enjoyed teaching because you guys. I don't know if you guys know. Well, obviously you guys know, but I am a coach with our old high school. With our old coach and
Hmm.
stuff.
Hmm.
I just go out there and coach and
Yeah, is that
coaching and
one old
coaching.
dude still up there? The guy that's like 80 years old now?
Yeah,
What's
he
his
remote clicked
name?
over me. Uh,
Oh,
wait. Oh, my bad.
Coach Billiam or something? I don't know, but Yeah, that
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah. But
Mm.
yeah, it made me realize I just enjoy like teaching and mentoring and just kind of like passing the knowledge that I know down to younger people or people who are willing to hear me out. I
And
think it's like a
by
go
like
ahead.
teaching development, are you talking about like military wise or just like helping somebody become a better person?
In general,
Yeah.
in
Okay.
general, like it doesn't matter if it's military wise or anything like that.
You
Just
just like
it is some
teaching.
yeah, there's something that's in my soul and this I'm passionate about. Like if I can teach somebody how to do something, if they don't know it, I'm not gonna say I feel good, but I'm not
Mm.
gatekeeping knowledge that I can pass down or
Yeah.
valuable
Absolutely.
knowledge. So yeah, it's like
Okay. Okay.
some leaders. I was talking to one of my coworkers, and some leaders they like to gatekeep knowledge
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
like really gatekeep,
Yeah.
and that doesn't do nothing for the next generation or anything like that. So I think knowledge is power, and if you teach the right person that knowledge, then it's going to be even more valuable in the future. So
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's like I know they did in African tribes, and I think like Native American, and probably all over like any different like culture. Like how they would have one person in the tribe that was basically like the basically like the archive of like their that tribe's history. So one of them at a time would pass on to the next person. They would have all the stories, all the information that that happened from all these people before, and they just collect it and then pass it on and pass it on. It's like if you gatekeep that like that, you could kill like a thousands of years of life, wisdom, knowledge, whatever, just by
Mm-hmm.
saying, oh, I'm gonna keep this for me, that way I'm better than somebody right now. Nah, man, like you gotta pass it on and let it live on through someone else. Like, or in the mentoring example, just reach down and help somebody else up. If you got somewhere higher, if you stepped up and leveled up, like reach down, pull the next guy up. It's that simple.
Definitely.
Like that's how you
Yeah.
elevate like a community.
Exactly.
some leaders don't want to. Some people look at younger people as competition. So I think that's why they don't want to pass that knowledge down because
It's
they
that
feel like they're gonna.
insecurity.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly insecurity. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you don't feel like you're up to the job, and if you pass the information, people are just gonna overtake you.
yeah, but
And you know what's crazy? What if that's what's meant to be? Like, man, this is the way I look at it. If I help somebody else out, if I give them my information, whatever, and they do better than me, it's probably because they one outworked me or they just deserved it more. Like something what they did was just
Yeah,
meant to do better than me. And am I supposed to be like sit there and pocket watch them and be like, nah, like no, 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 just
that's still an achievement
yeah, like
because if you
just
think about it, you helped them get to that point.
exactly, just
yeah,
like because maybe they wouldn't have got there without your help, and like you can relish
Exactly.
in that, like.
Hmm.
But
most
people
definitely.
don't see it that way, man. People are just stingy. It's just like it's with money, whatever, money, information, knowledge, connections, whatever you want to connect it to. It's just people we don't give as much as we should. Like
Hmm.
if you have an opportunity to like help someone out, whether it's just to teach them something, like if you got a secret that can make someone $100 in a day, or like that was just some people that's crazy. Like maybe not with inflation and the new minimum wage, but like you make you put someone onto an idea where they can, in whatever given day make $300, right? That could change their life if they can learn how to do that. Whatever, that could change their life, their kids' lives, their mama, their dad, the whole family
Hmm.
tree, and then who like can they go and help from there? It's like that ripple effect, right?
Yeah,
It's just where you help one person, help the next, and then by the end of the day, like you got a whole community of people thriving, and it's just
Yep.
lost in this generation.
Yeah.
yeah.
Nobody wants to transfer knowledge to everybody else.
Yeah,
Gatekeepers, man.
yeah. I know I got off track from the
And the
military, but
true
dang,
enemy.
yeah,
The
it
true
really
enemy.
is.
Yeah.
But man, I don't know how long we've been doing this now. It's been almost an hour,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I feel like we've gotten a good bit.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I think there's one more thing that we could touch on if we talk about military. If for anyone that may be considering like, speaking of mentoring and teaching, right? If you got young folks or older folks, whatever, wherever you're at in that 18 to 40 range, 17 to 40 range. If you're trying to enlist or you want a commission, whatever, what kind of advice would you give to somebody that's thinking about joining the military?
I would say go in with a purpose. A lot of people that I've met that joined the military, they were just like, "Oh, I just did it because I didn't have anything else to do."
Mm-hmm.
That's not a good idea. because you're just gonna waste those next few years of your life and wish you never did it.
Or
So
get
I would
trapped.
say, yeah, or get trapped. I would say go with a purpose, whether it's for schooling, like you're only gonna do a few years and you go to school after,
Hmm.
or if it's to make for better job opportunities. So like if you go in, don't pick like a combat job.
Mm-mm.
unless
Pick
you
something that
unless you want to do it,
translates.
yeah, yeah, pick something that translates to the civilian world. Unless you want to do 20 years in the military, go ahead, do the combat thing. Like I mean, some people join the military just to do that anyway.
Hmm.
But if you want something after the military, find something that translates over. Whether it's like getting a job that has security clearance or um another one is like working on aircraft. You do that in
Hmm.
the military and then get out, you can make money.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
so do something that
Hmm.
translates over to the civilian world. That would be my advice.
Hell yeah. No, that's killer, man. What you got, Chris?
I have a couple things. Uh, a lot of people ask me, what should I do? I say the first thing. I think especially if you're younger, you're between like the ages of like 17 and like 25. You don't really know what you want to do or anything like that. I would really recommend anybody within that age range to really like go active duty first, because
Hmm.
that's one of my biggest regrets is that I didn't go active duty. Like
Same.
I went back to college, but I didn't really use my college really well. I would say I didn't really utilize that time effectively. So I would definitely want active duty, because all you have to do is really give like them for about 4 years and then do 2 years of reservist or guard.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
I would definitely, especially if you're younger, I definitely would say go active duty. Because if you don't go active, like say that, oh, you went reservist or guard, you don't go back to school, you're gonna flip burgers or something like that. Like
Yep.
Yeah,
it's
you're
kind of
just gonna be doing a
it's
normal
kind of
job. Yeah.
yeah, it's counterproductive. So I say definitely go active duty. Pick a job that, like Omar said, like pick a job that kind of reflects what you want to do outside the military, probably, or that will
Hmm.
translate very well. Like logistics is one of those really good things to have under your bag.
Yep.
And um, I said just utilize all the tools that the government gives you. You know, tuition assistance.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Try to get all the certs that you can. Like I've got certs. If I get out of the military, I can probably potentially make like 6 figures a year if I really wanted to.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think
No,
I'm gonna use the security
absolutely.
clearance I got.
Yeah,
Yeah, leverage it, bro. Because I don't know what it goes for nowadays, but I know it was like between like 40 and 60 last time I checked to like get a secret
Mm,
clearance. Now I don't know
yeah,
what you got, but
a secret.
yeah. So it's you can leverage that because I mean that one that shows credibility and it costs money to get, so it's got a price tag on it.
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. You got anything else, Chris?
Um,
I
I
impressed
ha
you. I just want to make sure you got everything out you wanted to say.
I had one other thing to say. I forgot. I gotta
All right.
remember real quick.
Look, I'll fill in for now. Um, being after 4 years doing active, I thought about doing reserves and just using that to go to school and whatnot. But like Chris said, I think going active, if it's something that you want to do, like just jump in, give them the 2 years, 4 years, whatever kind of contract you can get. I would say don't ever take the 6 year contract, even if you think like I'm gonna do 20. Don't ever take that. Oh, you can come in as an E3. Nah, that
Yeah.
you're gonna save yourself 12 months of $100 a month or whatever just to sign away another 2 years of your life to where you're locked in. You can't get out of it. So sign the shortest contract you can get for whatever job you're gonna go into. And I would say really, really think about it whether or not you really want to go in or not. Why are you going in? I wouldn't change what I did for the world. Like I said that the people I would not trade away the people I met or the experiences I had in those 4 years. But looking back, it was a goofy reason to join the military. So like I said, run away from a relationship like that. And if things had gone terrible in the military, I would have looked back and regretted the hell of it. Be like, what? That's it. I could have done. I could have moved a city away and been okay. But
Hmm.
I signed away my life, flew halfway across the world away from my family, and gave up all these connections back home just to kind of break off one. So make sure that you think about your why for why you're going in. Simon Sinek talks about it a lot in his Start With Why book. It's understand your purpose for whatever you're pursuing in life, and because the military is not the answer for everybody. And I've seen people. I got plenty of buddies still in right now to this day that they signed up not knowing what they wanted to do, and now they're staying in, they're re-enlisting, they're doing whatever. Not because they want to or they love it or because it's the right thing for them. It's just because they don't know what else they can do on the outside. Like they feel like they're locked in or that they can't succeed outside the military. So again, it's think about why you're going in and make sure you get some life experience before you go into. Like it was immensely helpful that I waited until I was 20 to go in because I got some civilian life experience before I went in. I knew how to operate in a civilian workplace, how to do this, that, and the other thing, and kind of like code switch basically between speaking in military lingo to conversating in a civilian office where you can't be dropping the F-bomb every 2 sentences or someone's gonna look at you funny. So that's my biggest thing. It's just think about your why before you go in, before you really commit to it. And if you're gonna go in, do the shortest one because you can always re-enlist.
That is true.
Yeah.
That's true. I would say another thing. If you're going in for the purpose of doing schooling, if you don't want to wait on the schooling, go through the ROTC program. Like whatever, most college campuses have it, but definitely take advantage of that because one, you can get paid while you're in college. Two, it just makes it easier to knock out your degree, and then after you finish, you do your service for the military. And now you have like experience as a leader, and then you also have whatever experience in your like job field or whatever. And you can take that to civilian world and get an awesome job. Like I know officers that got out and now they're managing like stores, like retail stores. Like they're the top person just because of their military experience as an officer.
Yep.
So like you can do a lot with going the officer route and doing like the ROTC thing.
Yeah, you also got less people above you at that point too.
Yes, that's the
So you skip you really climb up that food chain if you come in as an officer. Even though you're at the bottom of the totem pole for officers, you're at the top as for the enlisted. So
yeah, and you skip a lot of BS. You don't have to deal with a lot of BS. So
yeah,
absolutely.
Officer route. If you're doing college, go that way.
Do it that way, get that money.
Yep.
At the end of the day, NCOs lead the way. So that's all I'm gonna say.
All right. I mean, you say that the E4 Mafia is gonna be wandering around doing nothing else,
Right.
Well, y'all got anything else?
No.
Can't think of anything.
All right. Well, it's been a longie but a goodie. Pause. But no. So, big shout out to Chris for coming on, being the first guest on this podcast. Shout out to Omar again. I always appreciate you coming on here, man, because I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and I'm glad we're finally getting to it and actually making these videos.
Yeah.
But Chris, you're gonna have to come back on. I hope you had a good time.
Oh, I definitely did.
So we're gonna have to bring you back with a better camera and a proper mic. That way, these people
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. We'll see after my, mob.
Got to give them the full Sergeant Pierce experience.
Oh, it's gonna be Staff Sergeant Pierce when I come back, buddy.
There you go.
Let them know.
Oh boy. Word. Well, all right. Well, if you happen to make it to the end of this, make sure like, comment, subscribe. Something you didn't like, something you did like, which you want to see next. Sub so that you can see these next videos coming out. I'm gonna start posting clips from this stuff because especially this one being so long and the last one being pretty long too. I'm gonna start putting out clips that way it's easier to check out what you want to check out. But y'all got anything else?
Nope. Good to go.
All right. Well, it's been the Back on Track podcast. Peace.
Deuces.
Chris, what the fuck was that? I ain't cutting that out.